What's up everybody, Coach Mills here, coming at you with a brand new Halo Infinite video. And in this video, we're going to be breaking down 8 features in Halo Infinite that will blow you away. Crazy new features that is going to get you incredibly hyped to play Halo Infinite. But if you don't want to miss out on any Halo Infinite content, make sure to smash that like and subscribe. And without further ado, let's jump right in. Now, the first and most important feature in Halo Infinite is definitely the fact that it's going to be completely free to play for the multiplayer. This means when you're playing in multiplayer ranked or just playing in big team battle, whatever the case may be, multiplayer is going to be free for anyone to try, which means that there's going to be a lot of hype and a lot of people playing the game. The barrier to entry is non-existent, which is definitely great. On top of that, the custom games are going to be free to play, so players are going to be able to mess around in customs, make all kinds of fun game modes, and customs has a really special place in my heart, growing up basically in Halo custom games in Halo 3. So I'm definitely excited, to say the least, to do that in my time not grinding ranked. Next up, we do got to talk about some of the extra abilities that are going to be in the game, included in Halo Infinite for the first time. First off is Grapple Hook. Now, this is a new form of mobility that allows you to grapple onto items, people, vehicles. Items is really cool because you can grapple them to you. You can grapple to people to grapple to them. You can grapple to the ceiling to fly around and push a momentum, or even grapple to vehicles to take them over. There's a lot of playmaking possibilities with this ability, and I cannot wait to see some crazy snipes or some really sick outplays with it, and it's just adding to the mobility aspect of Halo, and it's definitely going to be something interesting to watch. Next up, we do got to talk about the movement tech that gets me really excited about the movement in Halo. Now, for transparency, this was discovered by Shyway, a YouTube creator about Halo Infinite. I would definitely suggest you go check him out down below. But basically, what you can do is you can slide off of slight elevations for a movement boost that really boosts you around the map very quickly. Now, if you can learn to chain these together from one slight elevation boost to another, you could really start flying around the map, and I think it adds a very high skill ceiling to movement. And even more so, the higher elevation you are from the ground, the more specific the timing window has to be when you do this specific movement tech. That means you could hypothetically use this movement tech off of even higher obstacles if you have your timing perfect, and it just really adds to that skill ceiling to movement, and I definitely like that, to say the least. Next up, we got to talk about the ability Repulsor, which not only can reflect fire back at enemies, but it can be used for mobility to hit the ground and bounce up. Reflecting fire is really cool because you still have to aim it, so it still takes mechanical skill, and of course it only reflects small fire, so it's not necessarily going to be able to reflect a sniper rifle or a rocket launcher, for instance. But the fact that it has that flexibility for mobility, you can combine it with the movement tech, it just adds some crazy potential movement wise, and the fact that you can use it as a skill-based reflector ability means that there's more potential for outplays. I definitely like this ability in the game. Next up, as an exciting feature about cosmetics, there's going to be a one-time buy battle pass where you buy it and it will never go away, constantly acquiring new skins season after season, which is freaking great and a much better model than all the other models where you have to keep buying the battle pass over and over and over again. Of course, there's going to be more premium skins that you can buy without the battle pass, but those are going to be completely optional, and for a really small fee, you're going to be able to have a plethora of skins already. So I really like this, and on top of that, they've confirmed that there's going to be no dance moves in the damn bundle. So yeah, that's just great. Yeah, so no dance moves, no. And next up, we do got to talk about the diverse weaponry in Halo Infinite. I think this is one of the best aspects of Halo as compared to a lot of other games, is there's weapons with different types of aim. There's no projectile or hit scan category. Every single player is going to be required to understand how to use a hit scan weapon and a projectile weapon. Whether you're talking about projectile weapons like the rocket launcher or the plasma pistol, or just the projectile of a grenade, and then the hit scan of things like snipers and BRs. The combination of diverse weaponry really forces a player to master a lot of different types of mechanical skill. You can't just be a one-trick pony, and learning tracking, flicking, arcing, prediction, all of this really comes together to develop you as a much better just FPS player in general, and pushes a lot of different fundamentals onto you, and I really like that. Next up, we do got to talk about the needed multiplayer changes that they added to the game that just across the board people have really liked. The first one is there's going to be friendly fire on in the multiplayer versions of this game. That means that when you're playing ranked, there's going to be friendly fire, which some people are a little bit anxious about, but you got to understand, when you're at a high level, everyone wants to win, everyone everyone wants to play the game, and of course there'll be harsh penalties for people that just friendly fire for no reason, similar to something like CSGO. But it really just makes sense from a lore perspective, right? You can't really just shoot through your allies. That doesn't make any sense at all, and I think it adds a lot of strategic depth to being able to make sure that you use a lot of these explosive weaponry, things like grenades and rocket launchers, and your teammates can't just push in like psychopaths into the fire because you could potentially hurt them, and it just makes it a lot more realistic combat wise, and I think it's going to aid to multiplayer overall. Next up, your battle rifle is going to be something you start with. Battle rifle is probably the most skill intensive weapon, and I definitely like the weapon being the de facto weapon to go to in ranked multiplayer. And you're going to have no starting secondary, but you're going to be able to find one, which gives you a lot of flexibility in what you want to run as a secondary, and I really like that design philosophy from 343, which they're not forcing a secondary onto you, they're allowing you some flexibility and options to pick up the one you want, and there's going to be several options near your spawn point. Last up, there's going to be no radar, which I think is a really good thing for multiplayer. When you're talking about the general casual multiplayer, radar is still going to exist, and that's good because it allows you to find people and find conflicts, a lot less camping and things like that. But when we're talking about multiplayer, there's already incentive enough to fight over contestable weapons, power weapons on the map that have guaranteed spawn timers, and you don't need to force engagements, and a radar just sets up some really weird situations where people are just like perma watching their radar and they have like pseudo wall hacks on you. Definitely not needed in a rank multiplayer esport category, and I think it's going to be a good change overall. Now, the last thing that we need to talk about is just the fact that Halo Infinite has something for everyone. You get to finish this epic Master Chief story with tons of replayability, plus the nostalgia factor of everyone that played Halo in the past. There's tons of things for new players, providing a really full, well-made FPS experience for anyone who's never played Halo before. With a revitalized focus on esports elements and the unlimited replayability of customs, I think that Halo Infinite is going to be a banger of a hit, and I'm incredibly excited. And if you are too, please smash that like and subscribe so you don't miss out on all the Halo news, lore, information that you'll find on this channel. But thank you so much for coming by. Hope you enjoyed the video. I love your faces, and I'll see you next time.